In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups: the police who investigate crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders. These are their stories.
The scene of the crime was Delilah's Bar and Club. The time, 1 a.m. The crime, rape of a poor young girl attending the club. The case has been taken to court, and rumor has it the judge may be biased against females and their questionable behavior and psyche. Will Judge Mayfield rule against a poor girl? More information coming your way.
In light of the evidence presented, I feel that there is no other conclusion but that the victim took the steps that sealed her own fate. She brought these consequences upon herself. The way she was dressed, the lateness of the hour, and the venue she attended could only have added to this eventual outcome. Therefore, it is the opinion of this court to rule in favor of the defendant. Hopefully, this will teach all women to act more responsibly and become more aware of how their actions are going to harm them.
This is not fair. How can this even be my fault?
Don't worry, Miss Jennings, this isn't over. We can try and take this to appeals court. This judge obviously had it out to get you and let his own bias affect his ruling.
In one of the most controversial cases this city has seen in years, a judge has ruled against a rape victim. After this ruling was made in favor of the rapist, the victim and her lawyer decided to take the case to a higher court. Because of the seriousness of the issue at hand, the appeal has been picked up by the state Supreme Court. We have an exclusive interview with the judge of the original case to provide insight into his decision. How do you feel about your case being disputed? Does this make you doubt your original ruling?
No, it doesn't make me doubt anything. I'm the expert here. I've earned this position based on years of work in the courtroom. And what I said before, I say again. If women would just pay attention to their actions, they could avoid being in these dangerous situations in the first place. Good day.
The purpose of this trial is to assure that there was no bias in the original court case against Miss Jennings. We will hear from testimony from both the victim and her defense and the judge in order to gain clear understanding of the events that transpired, hear the rationale behind the judge's decision, and create a new ruling if this court should find that his old one was made out of bias and is therefore unlawful. We will be certain that bias does not play a role in this new ruling, and we have decided to require that Judge Mayfield bring forth new witnesses to support his ruling. These witnesses must provide a testimony that will erase the notion that his decision was made simply in sexist assumptions. Judge Mayfield, your leadership and your judgeship are on the line. If this court rules that your decision is made in bias, you can no longer serve as an upholder of the law in this capacity. I suggest that you defend your position by presenting how women are motivated to act and prove that this is in their nature as women. This court will reconvene in 48 hours to hear out both sides. Court is in recess.
How did court go?
Can you not tell how court went? Those idiots have made me defend my ruling as if I could ever be wrong about something like this. They've given me 2 days to find a witness. How am I supposed to find any witnesses in 2 days?
Well, I think I understand the case pretty well. From a psychologist's point of view, I can definitely, help you out with that. I can give my view, and it might be able to help the case.
As much as I hate to say it, I guess I have no other choice.
Well, I'm not really helping you with this. I'm, gonna get something back in return for this.
Please state your name and occupation for this court.
I am Gladys Yates. I have a degree at Brown University in psychology. While I was there, I've done extensive research on the cognitive processes of women and their behavior.
And what does your research conclude about the nature of women?
According to my research, women naturally seek the attention of others, especially men. It's not a woman's intention to bring these dangerous situations upon herself, but rather to be noticed by society in a respectable manner. Far too often, men still treat women as objects and roughly interpret their actions as an open door for the exploitation of women. This is evident in this rape case on trial. but also in everyday interactions and conversations. This extra work that women put in to be taken serious by men often backfires, and women like this victim are put in dangerous situations.
Thank you, Ms. Yates. And if the court has no further questions for our witness, we will now hear from Judge Mayfield.
Based on the evidence presented, I have realized that, due to ignorance rooted in arrogance, I did not take into consideration the differences between the way men and women think. For this reason, I now feel that my original ruling was erroneous and wish to express my penitence and recant my decision. It is the responsibility of both sexes to act with discretion in their actions, due to the fact that one's actions has consequences for oneself and others. My original decision only scolded women for not thinking through their actions, while ignoring the fact that the man in the situation had his own deeds to take into account.
In light of this statement from Judge Mayfield, I do feel that he is competent to continue ruling as judge with his new corrected perspective on human psychology, understanding that it is the responsibility of men and of women to be held accountable for their own actions. As long as he continues to make rulings under this new perspective, I feel that he should continue as a judge. Court is adjourned.
Thank you! Congratulations, Ms. Jennings.
In a whirlwind of events, Judge Mayfield has made a 180 and apologized for his inconsiderate assumptions of women and their actions. The state Supreme Court has overturned his ruling, and a new trial will be held to determine the consequences for the original crime and its perpetrator. Gladys Yates, the witness whose testimony changed Judge Mayfield's mind, has now decided to run for City Council. In gratitude for her assistance, Judge Mayfield has announced that he will endorse her campaign and is giving her his full support.